What's better than a warm, hearty soup for this cold winter? Let's take a short trip to try some of the vegetable soups people eat around the world. For the second episode of this series of videos, we'll be going to Norway, where they make this amazing Blomkålsuppe, a cauliflower soup. So let's get started. Here's a nice cauliflower, a relatively large one. It must be a kilo or more. First, I'll remove the outer leaves and the bottom. After a quick rinse, I'll remove the central part and I'll separate the florets. I'll cut the large ones into smaller pieces so they cook more evenly, but also because once they're cooked, I'll set some of them aside and add them to the dish without blending them. It will be nice to have different textures in the dish. I will also dice an onion, and with that, I'm ready to start cooking. So let's add a bit of butter to a pot, and then throw in the onion. I'll saute it briefly, just until it becomes translucent. Now I can add the cauliflower, plus 1.5 liters of vegetable stock. I'll cover it and I'll let it simmer for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, I can prepare some croutons. I'll cut a slice of bread into cubes. Then I'll add a drizzle of olive oil. You can add extra seasoning too, like salt and herbs, but I prefer to leave them as they are because I only want them to add some crunch, without interfering with the other flavors. I'll transfer the bread to a rack and bake it in the air fryer for 5 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. Now, let's add 160 grams of smoked lardons straight to the saucepan on low heat. There's no need to add oil or butter because their fat will slowly melt and cook them until they're nice and crispy. The cauliflower is pretty much done by now, so I'll go ahead and turn off the heat. I'll fish out a handful of florets. As I mentioned, I will add them whole to the dish, but it's up to you whether you want to do it or not. Now I can use a hand blender to reduce the remaining cauliflower to a smooth cream. Then I'll add a glass of milk. Of course, if you want an even richer soup, you can substitute it with cream. At this point, I'll turn the heat back on, I'll throw the cauliflower I set aside earlier back in, and I'll let it simmer for another couple of minutes. It's time to check for salt. And I'm ready to assemble the dish. Here's the cauliflower cream, the croutons, some freshly chopped parsley, and the bacon. I've also ground some black pepper, and here it is. A very simple but also hearty and super tasty soup that combines the velvety texture of the blended cauliflower with the crunch of croutons and bacon. A perfect mix if you ask me. Of course you're gonna omit the bacon if you're vegan or vegetarian, or if you simply want to try something different, I guess you could briefly fry some smoked salmon, because after all, what's more Norwegian than salmon? Just make sure you serve the soup right after adding the croutons, or they might get soggy. So, will you give it a try? Let me know in the comments. And if you love soups, you can check the previous episode of this series, where I made a fantastic cavolo nero and bean soup called bordatino. You can find the link in the description. But I'll be trying more vegetable soups in the next episodes, so stay tuned. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. It's free and it would truly help my channel. So, where are we going next?